Most couples in America retire with less than $300,000 saved. Most couples in America retire with less than $300,000 saved. Not $800,000, not a million, less than $300,000. And the financial industry knows this number. They have access to the Federal Reserve data, the retirement surveys, the real household wealth reports. They know exactly what the average American couple actually has when they stop working. And yet the conversation you hear every day on financial television, in advisor offices, in retirement planning websites, is built around numbers like $1.4 million, sometimes $2 million, as if that's the baseline, as if anything below that is failure. Today I want to show you why that gap exists, what it actually means for your retirement, and why feeling behind might be the most expensive lie the financial industry ever sold you. Let me start with the data, because this is where everything changes. The Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, which is the most comprehensive look at American household wealth that exists, shows that the median retirement savings for Americans approaching retirement age is somewhere between $87,000 and $185,000, depending on the age bracket. The median, meaning half of all couples have less than that. And yet the financial media keeps publishing articles about how you need $1.4 million to retire comfortably. So we have a situation where the majority of Americans are being measured against a benchmark that the majority of Americans will never hit. And instead of questioning the benchmark, most people question themselves. That's not an accident, that's a design. Think about who publishes those $1.4 million retirement number articles. Financial institutions, asset managers, investment platforms, companies whose revenue is directly tied to how much money you keep invested with them. The more anxious you feel about your retirement savings, the more likely you are to keep working, keep contributing, keep paying fees, keep engaging with their products and services. Fear is not a side effect of their messaging. Fear is the product. And once you see that, the entire conversation looks different. Now here's what I want you to understand. The $300,000 number is real. The anxiety around it is manufactured. And the way out of that anxiety is not to suddenly find an extra $1 million. It's to understand what retirement actually runs on. Because savings is only one piece of the picture, and for most couples, it's not even the biggest piece. Retirement income comes from two places: the money you've saved and the income that shows up every month regardless of what your savings account says. Social Security, pensions, rental income, annuities, any guaranteed income stream that doesn't depend on a market that goes up and down. And here's where the financial industry's framing completely falls apart. When they tell you that you need $1.4 million, they are often calculating as if Social Security doesn't exist, or they're minimizing it, treating it as a footnote instead of what it actually is for most American couples, which is the foundation of their entire retirement income structure. Let me show you what I mean with real numbers. The average Social Security benefit right now is around $1,907 per month per person. For a couple where both spouses worked, that's potentially $3,800 a month coming in every single month, adjusted for inflation, guaranteed for life, with no market risk attached to it. Now take that $3,800 and annualize it. That's $45,600 per year in guaranteed income. To generate that same income from an investment portfolio using the standard 4% withdrawal rule, you would need $1,140,000 in savings. But that income already exists. It's already yours. You've already paid for it. And yet it doesn't appear in your Fidelity account. It doesn't show up on your Vanguard dashboard. So when someone looks at their $280,000 in savings and compares it to the $1.4 million benchmark, they're looking at a completely incomplete picture and feeling devastated by an equation that's missing its most important variable. This is where I want you to stop and actually sit with something. If you've spent years feeling behind, if you've made decisions out of fear that you don't have enough, if you've delayed retirement or delayed living because a number on a screen told you that you weren't ready, some of that weight was not yours to carry. It was placed on you deliberately by a system that profits from your anxiety. That doesn't mean savings don't matter. They absolutely do. But context matters more. And context is exactly what's been withheld. Now let me introduce you to two couples because numbers alone don't tell the full story. The first couple, let's call them Robert and Carol. Robert spent 30 years as a public school administrator. Carol worked part-time for most of their marriage while raising their children. They have $210,000 in retirement savings. By the standard benchmark, they are catastrophically behind. They should be panicking. But here's their actual situation. Robert has a pension that pays $2,400 a month. Carol's Social Security benefit is $1,100 a month. Robert's Social Security benefit is $1,900 a month. Every month, without touching their savings, $5,400 comes in. Their actual monthly expenses in retirement are around $4,200. They have a $1,200 monthly surplus. Their $210,000 in savings exists as a buffer, as an emergency fund, as a travel fund, as a legacy. Robert and Carol are not behind. Robert and Carol are fine, better than fine. But if you showed their savings number to a financial algorithm or a robo-advisor, it would tell them they were in crisis. Now meet the second couple, David and Michelle. They did everything the industry told them to do. They maxed their 401k contributions for decades. They have $920,000 saved. On paper, they are a success story. But David's company eliminated their pension program 12 years ago. Neither of them has significant Social Security benefits because David took extended periods of self-employment where he underreported income, and Michelle left the workforce for 8 years. Their guaranteed monthly income in retirement is around $2,100 combined. Their lifestyle costs $6,500 a month. That means every single month they need to pull $4,400 from their investment portfolio. At that withdrawal rate, their $920,000 runs out in less than 20 years. David is 64. Michelle is 62. The math is uncomfortable. And no benchmark, no headline number, no industry standard prepared them for this because the industry was focused on the pile, not the structure. The difference between Robert and Carol and David and Michelle is not the size of their savings. It's the architecture of their income. And that's the conversation the financial industry consistently fails to have because it doesn't sell products. It doesn't generate fees. It doesn't keep you engaged with a platform. But it is the only conversation that actually matters for how your retirement works in practice. So what does this mean for you practically? It means the first question you should be asking is not how much do I have saved? It's how much guaranteed income will I have every month when I stop working? Start there. Add up every income source that shows up regardless of market conditions. Social Security, any pension, any rental income, any annuity payment. Get that number on paper. Then look at what your actual retirement lifestyle costs. Not a percentage of your current salary. Not a generic estimate, your real projected expenses. Housing, healthcare, food, travel, the things that actually matter to you. Find the gap between your guaranteed income and your real expenses. That gap, and only that gap, is what your savings need to cover. For many couples, that gap is significantly smaller than the $1.4 million benchmark assumes, sometimes dramatically smaller. And here's the part that changes the equation even further. You have more control over your guaranteed income than you've been told. Delaying Social Security by even 2 or 3 years doesn't just increase your monthly benefit slightly, it increases it permanently, meaningfully, in a way that is inflation adjusted and carries no investment risk. For many couples, the difference between filing at 62 and waiting until 67 is $600, $800, sometimes over $1,000 per month, every month, for life. That kind of return, guaranteed, inflation adjusted, doesn't exist anywhere in the investment market. And yet the financial industry rarely leads with it because it doesn't benefit from it. Here's what I want you to take away from this. The $300,000 number is not a crisis number for every couple. Whether it's a crisis depends entirely on the income structure surrounding it. The $1.4 million benchmark is not a universal truth. It's a number built for a specific scenario, one where guaranteed income is minimal and savings must carry everything. Most American couples are not in that scenario. Most American couples have Social Security, sometimes pensions, sometimes both, and the benchmark was never built for them. It was built to make them feel inadequate. It was built to keep them engaged, worried, and paying. You deserve to make your retirement decisions from clarity, not from fear that was engineered for someone else's profit. The real number that matters is yours, not the industry's, not a headline's, not a benchmark designed for a situation that doesn't describe your life. Yours. And the only way to find that number is to stop measuring yourself against a system that was never actually designed to tell you the truth.